one comment I get asked time and time again is, Jace, what website are you using to check card prices? Look, we want to know how much our cards are worth, or how much our sealed product's worth, or just how much stuff is going for right now. So today, I'm going to be going through all the different places that I look at when looking at card values or sealed product values, right? Not just the UK, but over in the US and also in the EU, so you guys can see what is going on and and everything, right? And all of the links to all of these websites will be in the description, so go and check them out if you want to use them yourself. And yeah, I think it's going to be kind of a helpful video to give you guys an idea of how I do my research, because I always say research is super important when you want to look at buying, selling, collecting, investing, whatever it may be. You just want to know how much stuff is. This is going to be useful, okay? So the first one we're going to be looking at is, of course, TCG Player. So we are on TCG Player. You've got all different TCGs along here. You can't see it's just off the screen there, but you got like Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Lorcana, and so on and so forth. So for us, we want to go Pokemon, and you've got a whole variety of things, right? You've got English sets. You want to look at all the different English sets that are out pretty much from start to now, pretty much. And you've got Japanese. Japanese has been quite recent since they've added this, which has been very, very useful, which is good, right? And one thing I like about it is it's good to see graphs. I'm obsessed with graphs and data, so it's all good. So let's take a look at this. So if we click on latest English sets, we can see we've got Destined Rivals already up there, and we pretty much got every single set. I think it is every single one, right? Including the classic boxes as well. And it's set in order, so we have here basically all of the Scarlet and Violet era, and then when you scroll further down, you have then Sword and Shield, and then if you scroll further down, you will then get to the early Sword and Shield, and you go to the next page, and you can go on to Sun and Moon, and so on and so forth. So I'll give you an example. Let's say I want to find out what the prices are for, I don't know, let's say 151, right? So I go 151, we click on Shop Now, and then it splits it. It divides in the different categories, so you can look for single cards, booster packs, or boxes. So let's say you want to know what an ETB is, right? Click on the ETB or boxes, and it basically you can filter it and hide like prices and stuff like that. So we can take a look and we're like, okay, right, we want to know how much a normal ETB is. Okay, so we click on a normal ETB and it'll give you all of the data that you need to know of what has been going on. And as you can see here, it tells us what the average unopened price is, which is 214 or 215. It tells us the market price, tells us the most recent sold, it tells you the volatility of the product, so what's the chances of it being good, being bad. And then you have the chart, and this is one thing I look at a lot. You see it quite a lot in my videos. We do go through TCG Player and look at these, and it's so good, right? Because not only does it show us snapshots of what's been going on in the past month, 3 month, 6 months from the year, but it also shows us how much of each of these has been sold each and every few days. With this one, if you go back a month, it will show you each and every day, and if you go obviously 6 months, then it will show you on a week by week basis, so you can get an idea and show you that volume and give you an idea of what has been going on. If you go back a year, for example, this has gone up by 238%. And then we can see how much volume of stuff has been sold over different time periods. So the back end of 2024, it was just absolutely crazy selling, whereas now it's cooled off a lot more. And on top of that, you get to see all these other bits of data. And if you click on View More Data here, it actually shows you all of the most recent sales. You can actually see what actually has been selling to give you an idea, right? So as we can see here, as we're recording this video, we're on the 6th of May. We can see it's $210 there, and a whole variety, very consistent in the prices, which is pretty good, of course. So that will give you an idea, and then you can see the current listings right now. I mean, I don't know who the hell is going to buy it for 500, but you never know. So that gives you an idea. So this is what I tend to use for like the sealed products, and it describes to you what is in that product as well. Then if we go across, so if we go back and we go cards, I want to know what my cards are like in 151. We go 151, we sort from high to low. We can see all the different cards here from the most expensive further down. So let's click on the big boy Charizard. You can see here, Charizard EX. This is the big Charizard from 151. And again, similar to the sealed product, we can take a look at the graph. We can see what's been going on. It's actually dropped by 20% over the past 3 months, which is pretty good if you want to pick this card up, of course. But yeah, and then again, you can see how many have been sold. You go back 6 months and you can see what has been going on with the Charizard there. And you go back a year and you can really see what's been going on. And it's been very consistent, right? With selling, I mean, the back end again, 2024 has been quite high in volume of sales, but overall, this card has been very consistent. It tells you it's medium volatility, and again, you can check to see what has recently sold, similar to the sealed product, and see what's happening, which is pretty good. So that's what I like to check with in the cards. You can see what listings there are currently as well when it comes to the Charizard. Now, let's say we go on Pokemon, okay, and we want to go Japanese. We can click on the Japanese, and it will come up with a lot of the most recent Japanese sets. So Gloria Team Rocket is the most recent set, so we'll click on that one. And again, similar thing, we can see booster boxes, booster packs, single cards. If we go booster boxes with Japanese, and we go on the Team Rocket box, we can see, similar to like when we look at English, we can see it's $142. This thing has dropped like crazy since its release. I mean, I expect it to drop even more. And then we can see what its recent sales are. So yeah, it's been consistently going for about 135 to 145 range. So about a $10 difference in prices there. But overall, you know, Glory Team Rocket has fallen, of course. And then you can go on the cards, right? We can click on the cards. We can see Mewtwo is still the big card of the set. And again, it gives us all the data. Of course, this set's so new, so we don't have too much in the way there. But it has dropped. I mean, it's still over $400. This one's low volatility, apparently. And then we can see recent sales. I mean, so we have some here that did sell for $350. Keep that in mind. So we've had some here $350, $360, $375, down from the $500. So it's already dropped a lot. To expect this average market price to continue to fall on that one. And then finally, you can click on Pokemon and you can click on Shop All English. So if you click on that, it just has loads of different stuff. Now I've got it set to high to low, but let's say you want to go with best selling, so you can see what's been selling right now in the Pokemon market. You've got Destined Rivals Booster Box, the most popular item, Prismatic ETB, 151 booster bundles, and so on and so forth. So you guys can have an idea, right, of what is going on right now on TCG Player and in the US market. Okay, next up we have Card Market. Now this is one I use for EU prices. Now bearing in mind, I used to use this a lot. Back in the day, I used to use Card Market a lot for my Magic the Gathering cards, and I would value them and price them up with Card Market. Things have now changed with that, mainly ever since like UK left the EU. It's a lot more expensive for us to get stuff from Card Market. So for the people in the UK, keep that in mind, of course. So if we go on, Pokemon, right, we can see what's going on. So we go on Pokemon. We can see here you got a search bar if you want to go and search up certain type Pokemon. And it gives you some best sellers there, some best bargains as well. And then you got some spoilers of showing you some new stuff. And you go products, so you can go boosters, booster boxes, single cards, sealed product, and so on and so forth. So let's go on here, right? We've got expansions as well. So let's say we want to go on to, I don't know, we want to check Prismatic Evolutions, right? We click that. And then here it shows us all the different types of products. So we've got, booster boxes, boosters, very similar to TCG Player, of course, ETBs, other products. It breaks them down quite nicely, so you get an idea of what's going on. So let's say we go on boxes, right? Oh, actually, we go on ETBs. We're going on ETBs. So it shows here. So we want a Prismatic ETB, and we've got a little picture there, so we know what we're looking for. So we go, yep, okay. So we click on that. So we have the ETB here. So we've got a little graph, very similar to TCG Player. We can't filter it to go even further back. So this one basically just does a snapshot of the past month. And as you can see, it's been pretty consistent on a daily basis, around 100 or so euros. And it gives you here the average price trend. So the average 30-day average is like 101, 7-day average is 99, and 1-day average is 102. And then you've got all the listings. These are ones that are currently up for grabs, but you can filter it. So you can go, and this is what I would do. I'd go right language. I want it in English, and I can filter that. So it'll filter all of the English ones. As you can see here, they're all language English, so we know. Some of them do have pictures, some of them don't. So we're looking at around about 100 to 110 euros for an English ETB. And then this side here is where the seller is selling them from. Okay, so if we wanted this one here, we can see this one's selling from France, and it is an English language ETB. To keep that one in mind, right? But if you want it to be sold in the UK, so you want it, UK, you want it in English, you want it from the UK, like me, you can just filter it, and then here we go. So the cheapest one on Card Market from the UK is 109 euros. And then you've got ones that are more expensive across the board here. To keep that in mind, right, this is how I look at things. Like I said, I don't normally tend to buy stuff from Card Market in the UK these days, but if you're in the EU, this is great. It's so good, and again, you can filter for where, what language you want or where it's from and everything, which I do like. So if we go back to the products, it will list all the different singles. You can see all the different like prices, the availability of stuff, and then here's all the different cards, and again, it will just show you, all the different artwork. So let's say we go here, we go expansions. We were looking at prismatic, right? Let's look at prismatic. So we scroll down. Where is prismatic? Prismatic evolutions. We want singles. Let's say we sort it by most expensive first. Okay, so we have all the prismatic stuff. We've organized it to most expensive. We've gone for, of course, the single cards, and of course we have the Umbreon. Let's click on the Umbreon. So I already have this set filtered from before. I already had this seller location in the UK. I want it in English, and it's only come up with just these. So as we can see here, we've got the chart to give you guys an idea of what the average price is, and then you can see what the 30-day average is, 7-day, and so on. I tend to like judge things from the 30-day average. They used to be like, for me, I kind of feel that's the safest bet. So here we've got one. This one is a near mint copy. It is English. It is from the UK. It is 860 euros. For that one, and as you can see, the prices do vary quite heavily, and some of them do have pictures attached. This one here's a graded one, PSA 9, to give you guys an example, 1.2k there. So yeah, there you go. So that's how you look at it. Of course, you've got different versions of the Umbreon EX. You can actually look and click on these and see all the different ones and what the prices are for them. We've got Collector, which is basically a collector app. You can get this for your phone, but this is also online as well. So this one I tend to use for a lot of like UK prices recently. UK doesn't really have its own version of TCG Player, and it doesn't really truly reflect on Card Market either. Now this one I find is a little bit more accurate. Another one is eBay. I'm not going to link eBay today, but eBay is my go-to UK market choice, But if I wanted a snapshot of what's currently going on right now, this is a pretty good one. So you can go on here, and it's got all of the different ones you can explore and see what's going on. This is just a snapshot of what's happening right now. So let's say I want to see what's going on. And I go, right, I want to go to sets, okay? And again, you've got all these different TCGs you want to choose from, but of course we're looking at Pokemon. And then I can choose from English and Japanese, right? So I can go, okay, right, what's going on with Join Together, right? So I can click on Join Together, and you have all the cards. Down the left-hand side, you can choose between cards or sealed. So if you want to filter which ones you look at. But let's say we do cards. I want to see what the most expensive from high to low. Okay, so we've got the Lily's Clefairy, £133. This card's dropped a hell of a lot. So 133, we click on it, and this shows me some really interesting data. I'm going to quickly move my face. Is there something that you want to see here? So I move my face. There we go. 133. We can see what the price is. So it's dropped by 7.7% recently, and you can see what has been going on since the middle of March. And of course, this card has dropped like crazy. This is the ungraded price history, and you can shop on different places if you want to find this card. So it gives you an idea of basically what is going on. And if you create an account on here, you can actually also track this. So you could add it to your portfolio, and it will show you what is going on regarding Collector. I still have yet to do this for my own collection, but it will take a while. It will take a while. So if we stay on here, we can see Join Together, of course, and we've got all the different cards we just shown. But let's go sealed. We go Join Together, sealed. We can see what's going on, right? So we can go, okay, right, booster boxes. Let's say we want a normal booster box, right? So it says here, the average market price of an enhanced booster box is £151. I know that's not 100% accurate, only because if you go on eBay, it does sell for a little more. I mean, you can't even get, you'd struggle to find a non-enhanced version for 151. It's not necessarily that accurate. The half booster boxes are quite accurate. I have been finding some that are around that 70ish range. ETBs are pretty accurate. So some of them can be a bit different. Of course, they are influenced by other different markets as well to give you an average price. So it's always worth shopping around. But one thing I like, we go sets, we go Pokemon, we go Japanese. And again, we can do Japanese Glory Team Rocket, right? We looked on TCG Player. We can then go high from low. We can see the Mewtwo here, £250 for the Mewtwo. So this one has fallen like crazy. So we can see what's been going on with the Mewtwo there. And then we can look at the sealed product as well. The booster boxes, 110. I did see these actually drop pretty low recently, but it has bounced back. It did actually drop to 95 a few days ago, and it's actually bounced back up a little bit. This one's fallen like crazy. I do expect to be under £100 even pretty quickly. So keep that in mind. But this is a very, very useful website. Of course, you can create your own portfolio, of course, if you really want to see what's going on. And you click on showcase, and it's got like community stuff as well. So you can see like other people's community stuff. You can get like different content creators. You can see like what they have. So I'm going to go show more. I never really looked at this, but you can actually go on here. Let's take a look. So it says like show more. Will it actually work? There we go. All right. We can see a twice baked Jakes on here, for example. So you can see his is about £163,000. I'm intrigued to see what mine is. You got PokeJace on here as well with 25,000. So you get an idea of how much some of these people's different collections are. Like we got one that's 400k here. Holy smokes. A lot of magic stuff there. Old stuff magic. Yeah, that is pricey. But yeah, and it's just really, really interesting to see different people's, portfolios and just seeing how much, of course, that they're worth. And it's very, very cool. So you can do that for yourself, and get an idea of basically how much your stuff is, sealed and singles, of course, across all different types of TCGs. So keep that one in mind. I like it. I think, like I say, collector's really cool. I do need to sort out the portfolio things, and that could be a future video. But yeah, overall, pretty cool. And then finally today we have Pokey Data IO. You might have seen this in quite a few of my videos. This is a very, very useful website, especially when it comes to graded card and graded prices. If you're like me and you like grading a lot of cards and buying and selling a lot of graded cards, this one's going to be a useful one. So we take a look here. We do have across the top here, you have like sets, sealed product, collections, and so on. And then you can, you have different sets. You can look at vintage if you wanted to, and so on. So let's click on, we're going to go on sets. We're going to click on sets, and it's going to show us all the English ones. And you can click here for Japanese if you want all the different Japanese sets. Let's go with English. We're going to click on Join Together, of course, the most recent set. And automatically, it sets it in order of highest to lowest. It does it automatically, right? Which is pretty good. Then it tells us the overall value of the set, which is very useful. So we can see that Join Together is currently $840. And then we can see the cards. So we have here Lily's Clefairy, Salamence, and so on and so forth. So we go on the Lily's Clefairy. We can click on Lily's Clefairy. It shows us what the prices are on eBay, TCG Player, and Card Market, which we've just recently looked at. And it shows us the PSA prices. Very, very useful. Sometimes it does tell you the population, but you might have to have a paid account on that one. But you can see what the PSA 10 price is. If you're looking to get it graded, I want to grade the Lily's Clefairy. How much could it get? How much could it fetch in a 10? The data from this, as you can see, you've got the graphs. These are the most recent sold, and these are normally taken from eBay and other places like that. These are all eBay, actually. So these are all eBay, so you can get an idea of what has been going on. So we can see here, PSA 10, $600. The green here in the chart is the PSA 10 value, and as you can see, it has been falling. And then you can filter it, so you can be like, I don't want to see the graded, I just want to see the raw. Raw is a combination of all of the markets. TCG Player is TCG Player, and then you can see what the trends are regarding the card. Very, very useful. And the thing is you can also do that across the board with Japanese as well. Let's go on Japanese. We go on Glory Team Rocket. We can see the Mewtwo. The overall value is 1.2k, which is pretty good for a Japanese set. Click on the Mewtwo, and we can see here PSA 10 was $1,000. And then we got the eBay price there. So it has been falling quite a bit, which is pretty good. And we can click on, I don't think it has sealed product for Glory Team Rocket, but it does for Journey. So if we go back to sealed products over here, we can filter all these different ones here. So we go, okay, right, I'll look at booster boxes. We're on Japanese at the moment, so you get an idea of all the Japanese prices. Let's go to English. And I want to go English, booster box, Journey Together. Okay, so we've got Journey Together booster box. This is the standard one, not the enhanced. So we've got the 1 month chart here. We've got eBay price, TCG Player price. We go back over the past 6 months. Of course, it hasn't been out that long. It gives you an idea of what the situation is. So as we can see, TCG Player is more expensive than eBay. And yeah, if you go back to something that's a little bit older, like Surging Sparks, we get a bit more data, we can see the different prices there. We go back over the last 6 months, and we can see that TCG Player is above the average market price. If you are looking to pick some up, maybe go somewhere else. And it shows you the most recently sold. It shows you all the eBay sold listings. to give you an idea of what's happening in the market right now, which is very, very useful. So you have, guys, that's where I check all of the listings, right? All the prices regarding sealed product, single cards, graded cards, and so on and so forth. Of course, eBay is very, very useful as well. I use eBay a hell of a lot. In my opinion, I think eBay is probably one of the better places to look because you can see what has recently been sold. You can find what's currently up for sale. You can obviously bid, and you can do all sorts of crazy stuff on eBay. eBay is actually like, they've been pretty good on cracking down on scams that were on eBay, so keep that in mind. That's pretty good. One good thing, if you're looking to sell, eBay here in the UK is good because there's no selling fees anymore. So if you're looking to sell here on eBay, here in the UK, we don't have selling fees, which is incredible. So that means you can just go crazy and just sell a whole bunch of goodies. But overall, right now, I think it's pretty good. I think that at the moment, there's so many different places you can look. TCG Player is usually the go-to. You've got to be careful, TCG Player. The data and the information on there is not always the best. It's not always the most accurate, and it's very easy to manipulate TCG Player. That's why I like looking at a whole range of places. Pokey Data is very good at collecting data from a whole range and a variety of places, as well as telling me the graded stuff, which is very, very cool. Of course, Card Market, if you're in the EU, very crucial, very important. And Collector's pretty good as well because it does also gather information from a whole variety of places. But for me personally, I look at eBay if I'm looking at UK stuff. If it's far in the video and you've enjoyed it, make sure to smash the like button and make sure you subscribe for more Pokemon content. And let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Did you find this video useful? Which ones do you use? I kind of wish we had a UK version of TCG Player. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that would be so cool. Someone out there, make one. It'd be amazing. Like, make sure it's accurate and take the UK data. You know, make it spot on. That's what I would like to see. But that is it from me, guys, in today's video. If you watch more Pokemon content, make sure to click the video on the screen. And of course, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You guys are legends, and I'll see you in the next one.